Banana slam jam.
So we're against a Snapfire TB or an Ogre TB. From what I know, I'm going to check right now, actually, because it's worth checking. I think Yapzor is going, like, straight up null talisman on ranged ranged fours.
Yeah, I built a, I think I built a null in one of my games.
I'm saying, like, oh, you saying, like, starting items?
No,
Okay.
no, not the first. I would make it, like, it would be one of the items I first build. It might have not been this game, though.
Yeah, because I'm looking at your starting items, and I think, like, with Windranger specifically, her only weakness is that she clicks a shit ton, but she hits
But
for
not
40.
enough.
Yeah, she clicks for 48. So, like, in the Absol starting items, I see, you know, a Circlet and Blightstone.
Oh, well, I didn't go Blightstone in this one because they just have too much armor. I felt like it would be a waste.
Yeah, I agree with that in this specific lane. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just like, a Blightstone's pretty worthless. I thought about building Null. I just felt like I should just stay in the lane as long as I could, because I think I just needed sustainability with ogres casting spells and whatever.
It's up to you. I don't know Windranger. Like, I don't play her as often as you do, but I see no damage in the starting items, so that's just something to think about. But if you considered it, all good.
Yeah, in my other Windranger game, I went Null at like 10 minutes.
10-minute Null?
Yeah.
The value 10-minute Null. Okay. Yeah, I definitely think you should have your view on that creep dying. It's oftentimes can be your job to secure that when you're the ranged hero.
Oh, is that the ranged? Oh,
it was a melee creep, but it's like you guys were forced to retreat because you guys didn't have any creeps to protect you. So it's not as much that I'm upset you missed it. I just didn't even see what happened to the creep, and I think that's really important for supports to do as well. Most supports don't prioritize that very highly.
That makes sense.
Okay. Nice try there.
Yeah. You see, I prioritize the range creep more than the melee, I guess.
Honestly, range creeps don't matter. Okay, so the way I look at range creeps now is they don't matter any more than melees because they only give like 10 more gold and like 10 more XP approximately.
Oh, okay.
So it's just that you're treated differently because like the way you secure melees in range is just, you know, the range is in a different position. A lot of times it's like farther out of position for your core to get to. So I don't look at them differently. I just treat them differently. Is how I would describe that. Okay. I would have strongly considered blocking the pole camp at 1 minute because as Slaughter Windranger, you don't really have any wave clear, so you're not going to be making use of the big camp super early, but since they have Terrorblade, they'll usually meta and push the wave while they're attacking you, so it's just a camp they're more likely to use than you.
Okay, that makes sense.
Did you not consider Power Shot against Terrorblade in this lane?
I probably should have done that, yeah.
Yeah, I just think with the Slaughter, you have a lot of disable, but not too much damage, so I think the Power Shot would have been better here.
I think, yeah, as, I've been getting my stun more, because I thought I could, like, you know, like, if he doesn't trigger his stun, maybe I could lock it down one more and we could get a kill, but...
So, yeah, the way I look at it is simple as this. It's like, how much damage will you do in a shackle? If it's less damage than you would do with a power shot, then you should level power shot. If it's more damage, then you level shackle. Yeah, just notice how often they're using the camp. So I pointed it out, like, considering blocking it at 1 minute, but certain lanes, the big camp is really good for your duo, and other lanes, it's, like, potentially a liability for the duo, so just notice how often they're using it, and it's something as long as you think about it, I know you'll figure it out. Okay. Oh yeah, you have a Shadow Demon mid. I forgot you told me about this.
I kind of like fuck around for like a minute and don't really do much. I get a kill here.
That was weird that I didn't latch. Looked like it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have definitely planted a ward on your travel path between mid and bottom. I think this is where you're predominantly going to spend your time. So just seeing Ogre mirroring your movements, or you could even place it like right above you here, so you see if Ogre's leaving bottom, but also see the pole camps in case you need to help your Slardar. I think this ward behind their lane just doesn't give you the information you need to decide whether or not you should be bottom or mid at any given point. So, and that seems like your game plan, right? So
yeah.
Let's go to... Did you accidentally cancel that or intentionally?
I accidentally canceled it.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
That's like the only explanation I could come up with. So
yeah.
Okay. The good old panic metamorphosis from Terrorblade. So where are you going right now? You're stacking...
Stacking.
Okay. This is really important that you see your Shadow Demon gank top, and then this is his stuff.
I should go mid right now?
Yeah, you should go mid. Exactly.
Okay.
You don't really have like an Ancient Clear, so...
And then I miss because I'm bad.
Hey, you know what? The thought was there.
I go mid
Execution
now.
is-
Like I know that I had to go mid to like at some point, but then the
Well, like the way I look at it is that by the time you wait, somebody's probably going to take it over, and you just miss the creeps that are right here. Like that's just a creep wave of missed
yeah.
opportunity.
You're
Okay.
right.
Like, it's hard to prove, but most of the time I don't think Spectre would go there if you were there already. Kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I thought it was weird that Spectre was there. When
Yeah.
I saw Spectre, I was like, huh.
Cores always naturally do that shit. I realized it a long time ago, where if I was supposed to take a lane as support or core, somebody else naturally takes it, even if they don't normally want to. Like, I think Spectre would be content jungling, maybe staying top, maybe going bottom, but since she sees the lane mid just not being taken, she's going to walk there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you rotate back bottom, take the tower, take Slardar. Okay. So this looks like a pretty easy game in the sense of your lanes are going well. Top 3 net worths on your team.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, I'm really not a big fan of the Ancient stack, to be honest. You don't have a hero that can clear it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Alright.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I preach this stuff all the time, actually, to my coaching sessions, because it happens in all brackets, it seems like. When the fight dissipates, especially when you're super low resources, since, like, pretty much everyone in the game, like, 5-on-5, we're down here, it's all lane maintenance, like, just help clear waves. So top is not really good for you, because you TP there and you have absolutely no mana. But in this case, I would be like flying myself a salve and 2 clarities and TPing mid and clearing that out, because the Terrorblade's going to pressure it. If you don't go there, once again, your cores are going to have to go there, or the tower's going to take damage. You're also level 5 at 14 minutes as a 4, so it's kind of like these are the opportunities I'm looking for. Earlier when I talked about instead of stacking Ancients that you give yourself that wave, and then I see this here. So just putting that, I think, higher priority when you're having downtime. Just check waves, check lanes. It's really impactful for supports to do that.
Yeah, I told you this game I was really low level early on.
Like, the way I look at it is, because you don't go mid, you're fighting bottom with no health and no mana, and your core Shadow Demon, who's like super strong, full health, full mana, is farming mid. So if we just swapped you guys, it would
Well,
be...
he died and he TP'd in.
Well, what I'm saying is if you're farming mid, he'll TP bottom and fight. Do you see what I'm saying?
Maybe?
What?
Maybe he'll do that. I don't know.
Why wouldn't he?
I don't know. It makes sense, I guess.
Okay.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So this is a situation where there's nothing to immediately accomplish on the map. So I would really like you to walk wherever you go instead of TPing. So right now, if you wanted to go bottom and D-ward, you could just walk. And then if an engagement happens top, you can TP to it. But by TPing here, you're going to the lane where nothing's really going to happen because you already took tier 1 bottom.
Yeah.
And then your other 2 cores are up here. So you're just kind of taking yourself off the map.
That makes sense.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Good pressure here.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
This was supposed to be a quick kill on the SD.
Let me rewind a bit here.
I missed my power shot. That probably could have killed him.
Just looking at the map for a second. Okay, I want to rewind one more time. This is actually really important. I'm just trying to figure out how to say it. I guess your Shadow Demon just straight up TP'd from mid when it looked like he was pushing, so maybe it actually doesn't apply here, so never mind about what I was going to say. Yeah, that was just like an awkward movement from the entire team in general,
Yeah.
so I don't think it's specifically you.
Radiant's top tower. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Good smoke. I should get another kill, bonus kill. So I think it's really important we get wards up around Roche. Because you have Slardar, Spectre, pretty solid Roche lineup. I would be prioritizing all of my sentries and wards around that area. Like when I've been playing support in these types of games where we have like one crucial objective and that's the Roche, I just plan like 4 or 5 sentries in the area and just make sure with all possible wards are dewarded. Because you guys are fighting here, and it makes sense you're fighting here, but they do have ward control of this area, which is not what I'm a fan of. What were you saying?
I think we go Roche soon. Maybe.
I'll ask,
Probably
how
take
often
this
do you
one.
think about your team's next objective?
Pretty often.
Okay. If we can follow that up with the warding, then we'll be good to go.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Okay, I guess that's another sentry on the high ground based on that. I actually couldn't tell in the replay.
Yeah, it was a sentry.
Okay. Do you communicate at all in these games, or do you kind of just go with the flow of the game and?
Sometimes it depends.
Okay.
I didn't really communicate in this one, I think. Like, I'll ping shit, you know, like, I'll ping Roche or something.
Okay. So like, I've obviously talked to you a lot.
This doesn't show the type.
The what?
What we type, I guess?
No, yeah, I don't see what you type. That's why I'm asking, like, if you communicate, because I obviously can't see it if you are.
Yeah.
Like, so
I do type.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking is because I feel like your understanding of, since you don't play a ton of Dota, your understanding of the game is better than your actual mechanics, just by nature of how often you think about Dota, but you don't play as much. So what I'm trying to say is, like, when I feel like that, like if I'm even on my Smurf account or whatever, and I know my game sense is higher than the people I'm playing with, I tend to take over the game by telling my team where to play. Especially as support, I place wards where I want to play. So I think it's a big mistake that you guys are just playing around bottom when you don't really have tower taking. So the tier, like, your choice at this stage in the game, once you've taken bottom and mid tier 2 or bottom and mid tier 1, is to take Roche or pressure bottom. Like, you're either playing their triangle and playing Roche, or you're playing their jungle and bottom and mid tier 2. But since you have no tower push, and you have a Slardar, I think it's really important you guys play around Roche rather than the bottom. So
Okay.
if you were to place wards go ahead.
So if we did have like a push hero, playing here is fine.
Yeah, naturally, if you say you have like a Beastmaster or a Terrorblade or a hero that naturally pressures that lane and means it'll be really convenient. Because like if you had a hero like that with your lead, even half your lead, you would have already taken that tier 2.
Yeah, for sure. We just don't have tower.
So like what's happening is you guys are extending your lead by the fact that, you know, you're just out farming them. But the same thing could be happening on the top half of the map and getting Roche at the same time. So it's not going to cost you guys here, but it's just delaying the game in a situation where if it were closer, it could potentially lose you the game. And if you're like warding around that area and saying like, "Hey, Slaughter, come play with me," obviously some people are gonna ignore you or whatever, and I just give up if they do that. But
you see, if that happens, if Slaughter does come play with me, and people are at bottom, we would just get killed in that area.
Okay.
Because I think it's better to always run as 5 in these situations.
So what I'm trying to say is, I think you, and as well as most other players, underestimate the instinctive nature of where people play on the map. So you guys have prioritized your ward vision bottom, which naturally leads you 4 to grouping bottom. And then the Spectre is going to play the opposite side of the map. Like, that's what's going to happen. And none of you guys, I assure you, communicated this. Like, I don't think anybody said, "Hey, Spectre, go to the opposite side of the map while we play as 4. That's, like, almost always naturally happens with a hero like Spectre. So if you were to, like, ward top, it's 90% going to happen where your team plays with you and Spectre plays bottom. So it's the exact same thing as what's happening now, but it's reversed. And that's how it should be. And I think you're not giving enough credit to the instincts of players, where a lot of times I'll just naturally run to where I have wards, and obviously sometimes it's not going to work that way. But I think anything you're doing here would be the exact same top. Like, if it works, it works. If it fails, it fails. It's going to just be lack of team cohesion. But if you do it top, it's naturally going to be much more likely to work, because the way your lineup works is better flipped. So
but in terms of this, let's say Spectre is bottom. I think he's more susceptible to getting ganked by an LC and all those people if we were a top, because they have the shrine and everything. if like our positions were reversed. Like I feel like the Spectre is safer in his position than if this was reversed.
I would argue if he's on his triangle, it's not any different.
So he would be in the Radiant Triangle instead of the jungle?
No, he'd be on your triangle or our jungle.
Or sorry, yeah, the Dire Triangle.
The point is that he doesn't have to be right next to you guys, and if he's playing like even your own jungle or triangle, then he can show up to Roche at any point that it looks good for you guys. Anytime they make a move to bottom, which is kind of obvious when you have top and mid pushed in and they're just not there, then your response would be to go into Roche. Like right now, if they don't do anything, like right now you can tell since mid's not being farmed and nothing's happening bottom either, how do you really punish them, right? Like they're just sitting in base doing nothing really. They're probably farming this area, maybe they're farming their own triangle, maybe sending a Terrorblade Illusion mid, which is what would be happening in reverse, but they'd be doing it bottom and mid. And then when you see one hero show bottom on a wave, you just go Rush. And then it's like you're forcing them to react to what you're doing rather than just farming. You're like out farming them just like you are now, but you are forcing them to be panicked because there's an objective that's like a looming threat for you guys to take at any given point.
Okay.
So I would argue that if your Spectre's bad, she's just as likely to die top as she is bottom. And there's less chance that they would gank her bottom because of the threat of Roche.
Okay.
That's the best I got there. This is like hard to explain actually.
Radiant's bottom tower
Okay.
is under attack. Are fortified.
I think it kind of just comes with time, but I don't think you move your camera enough when you're farming waves or clearing them in general.
Yeah.
There's not much else to say about that. I try to do it as often as I can too, but I often get flamed for being how high MMR I am and how little I check the map or check the lanes compared to like R2.
Yeah, I've been improving slowly.
I'm sure it's just like that's why I meant like when you don't play all the time, that kind of shit just naturally doesn't happen enough.
Did you see my deny on the rune earlier?
I saw you deny a rune, but I was not paying close attention to the relevance of it, so I will check it
Because
out.
I think they were gonna chase me, so I don't want them to take the rune, so I denied it.
Right.
Right here.
I probably would have gone for it and taken the 50-50
Really?
that I died. That's personally what I would have done, but you know, that's just the greediness coming from a carry player of 8 years. Okay.
I knew I wasn't safe here. I got greedy here.
Okay, so you say you got greedy. What do you mean by you got greedy? I'm actually curious.
I overextended. I could have stayed in the back where the tower is and just kept Wing the wave, but instead I went to right click for the last hit.
Okay, so you know the benefit of you being here is like relieving tower pressure, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what this accomplishes.
Like I should be here, but I shouldn't have overstepped it.
Okay, that's fine. If you understand that, nothing else to say there. I think people underestimate how dangerous mid is. Like, it's always the most dangerous lane to sit in front of your tower like that. I say, you know, top is the dead lane or whatever, but mid lane is way more dangerous on average.
Yeah. I think I tell my team when Spectre's up, we go Roche or something here.
Yeah, I'll definitely flame your warding here, though. I think it's really important if in your bracket, even if you're the 4, that at least buy the observer wards. I'm saying they like, yeah, they eventually have to be top, and haven't seen a new ward since the last time we talked and paused the game, which was at 25, I think. Is your Rubik like hoarding them? Okay, I guess he is.
Yeah.
I definitely would. I'd try to take the initiative there. I even have to deal with that sometimes in my brackets.
Yeah, sometimes I'd be like, yo, can I get like 2 lords or something? if it really like annoys me. Like a lot of the times, if they've been like warding alright, I won't say anything. But then there's some times where like I see that they have 3 wards and they're just like top the entire time. The Rubik's been playing good throughout the game though.
Okay, so is this the moment where we finally start playing top?
Yeah. Spectre dies here. I think he said affirmative because that's maybe this was when I told him to do Roche after.
I think this is actually more of a lesson to everyone watching. It's fascinating how Dota works, but you know, at 25 minutes, I said it's better that you guys play around top. I gave all the reasons, etc., etc. You guys were ahead by 12k, I believe, at 25, and you were still ahead by 12k at 31 minutes. So, what effectively happens in 3k a lot? This is, like I said, mainly talking to the viewers, but it definitely pertains to you too. Is if you don't play around the right part of the map, there's sometimes it doesn't necessarily cost you anything. It literally just delays the game by however long you decide to play there. So here, eventually, you guys finally smoked the top, and I don't think you guys had to wait this long or even close to it. So it's something to learn from in your own games. Where if you feel like the game stagnated, at what point, like where did the fight occur that blew it open? Like where did it finally work out? And that probably means that was the right part of the map that you guys were supposed to be playing on. So I think this smoke could have happened way earlier.
Well, we didn't really go to the jungle though. We kind of like caught them out pushing mid, and then.
But you smoked from bottom to top, is what I'm saying. Like you went from here to here.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you don't find them here, like if you didn't find them here, you would have walked up here and found them here, right?
Probably, yeah.
So the idea is you took this move from bottom to top.
Okay, that makes
and
sense. Yeah, I got bored. I was like, all right, let's do something.
Well, that's what I'm saying is you feel it in game, right? Though you feel it where you're like, okay, nothing's fucking happening.
Like,
let's go somewhere else, you know? So like
I was like, all right, I want to win a fight. I want to take Roche. I'm gonna end the game. That's basically.
So our goal for you as like a leader or support person who can make calls better than probably most people in the 3K bracket is that you need to take the initiative and say that, at least tell your team that you want to do that. And what happens to me as a core, at least, and maybe people watching can take this with them, is that if you say, hey, I want to look to take Roche and invade top, then if I'm Spectre, for instance, I'd be like, okay, I want my Manta first, and I would communicate that back. And then the minute I see Manta Spectre, we go. Or
that makes sense. What gets frustrating is when I do ward areas I want to move into, there's only maybe like one person there, and then the enemy moves in, and it just gets dewarded. I'm like, well, that was a waste.
So a lot of people don't realize either until communicated, even at my bracket, that wards are really important to protect. And if you think a ward is in need of protection, if you communicate that, people will be much more likely to stay there. Like, that happens in my bracket, too. Like, if I don't communicate this ward is important to protect, people will just leave it. Because there's wards that don't really require protection, and then there's wards that do. So if you know that distinction, I think it's actually important to...
I would be like, hey, let's fight around this ward, or like, let's stay around this area.
I think specifically saying, let's not let them deward this, or let's protect this ward and stay here, are like really important distinctive communications. Because, yeah, I don't know a better way of saying it myself. But if I've ever, in the past for me, if I've ever said it any other way, like, people just do something that I'm not intending them to do or whatever. So, yeah, just trying to help you communicate what you kind of already know. So,
yeah.
Okay.
We go Roche now, I think, when Spectre's alive. I think I like spam ping out like go Roche, go Roche. Yeah, there we go. You see that?
Yeah, you're literally spam pinging at this point. So we finally get Roche.
Yeah.
You know, when we were theory crafting this game, because you told me your allied lineup and their lineup, I did like your itemization. I don't think your conceptual itemization is your weakness. I really do think it's your efficiency of map movements, and especially early game.
Yeah, I was really inefficient this early game.
Yeah, I would consider level 5 at 14 minutes with the way
Yeah.
this game played out to be like a travesty. So other than
No,
that,
yeah,
though...
my ST was like, wait, who's the 4? I'm like,
and then you shrink into your little corner and just say nothing. You know,
no, I'm like me, and then I do like the starry.
oh yeah, that's a Brax classic. The sorry.
Yeah, you can't get mad at someone saying sorry.
Exactly.
The Rubik also took the tome, so I feel like, you know, it's kind of his fault too. I could have been level 6.
Well, like, okay, so the question that people ask me, right, is they say like, BSJ, what's a good timing for level 6 and stuff? I don't really look at when I should hit level 6. I look at every specific moment in the game where you missed a creep wave of XP,
Yeah.
And that one time of the Ancient stood out to me, and then the other time where you guys took a bunch of fights bottom, and instead of TPing mid, you stayed bottom. So those are the times where that would probably be a level and a half ish if you add those two together, and then suddenly you're level 7 instead of level 5
No, yeah, like no, even before that, you know that fight bot, I was level 5 and like 10 EXP to go. So if I even took like one creep mid, I could have gotten.
Yeah, it adds up a lot, right?
Well,
It definitely adds up a lot. So
and I could have dealt more damage because of 6.
is there any PogChamp plays here, or should we go to the next one?
I think that's about it.
Okay.